Friday, another week has flown by. Today, I want to challenge some of your beliefs that you guys have around health and well-being. All right, because with our beliefs, they're formed at a very early age, and sometimes they're not actually based on anything we would have chosen for ourselves. It's like that you learn to do things from what you see, and sometimes if things have been done the same way for a long period of time, you don't question it either. I want you to start questioning some of your beliefs because beliefs are not real. Beliefs are simply words that you have repeated over and over again until they have become the narrative in your head, the thing that keeps sort of running at that unconscious level, and that then creates your reality. So the good thing about a belief is that you can change them. All right. So when I say they're not real, beliefs, we think our beliefs are real because we have evidence to support them. Okay. And when you have that evidence, it's like, well, you can't deny it, can you? However, for every belief that you have about anything, all right, today we're specifically talking about health and wellness, but a belief that you have about anything, there is going to be, I promise you, at least one person on this planet who has the exact opposite belief to you, and they too have the evidence to support their belief. All right. So, if you had, I don't know, what's a good one I can use? This one's got nothing to do with health, but it'll help show what I'm trying to say here with our beliefs not being real. Okay, so if you have a wealthy person and a poor person, all right, in the same room, they have different beliefs around abundance. Okay, the wealthy ones think abundance is everywhere, money is everywhere, money is easy to come by. They have evidence to support that because they have a lot of money. The poor person believes in a lot of lack. It's hard. Life's a struggle, that it's you have to work hard for your money, all of those sorts of things. They have evidence to support their beliefs because they are poor. All right. So they both can argue their case. So which belief is actually true? Neither. Neither is true. And this is what's so exciting about beliefs. You can, if you've got a narrative that's going on that is not working for you, if it's creating the reality that you don't want in your life, you have the power to change it. And to me, that is incredibly exciting. All right, so today we're going to look at what are the beliefs that you have around health, diet, exercise, food, body image, all of those. And I really want you to challenge them. All right. Because if you are not feeling good in your body and there is no one right or wrong way, okay, and that's because that's another belief. That's just the societal beliefs that, you have to be thin and whatever to be healthy. That's not actually true. There are thin people who are very unhealthy because of what they're putting into their bodies. So I want you guys to start to really challenge, what are these beliefs that I have grown up with? What are they? What are the beliefs that I am still carrying around that it's making it harder for me to feel good in my body? Okay, that's really all it comes down to. So think about, the throwaway comments that we hear growing up. You finish everything on your plate. If you're in my sort of generation, you would know that, and older generations as well. Can't leave the table until you've eaten everything on your plate. So that does a lot of things. There's that bad association with food because often it's the veggies, that we don't want to eat when we're little because we don't like the taste of them. So we start to develop this negative connection with healthy food. Okay. It can lead to overeating if you're not, because if you have a lot on your plate, but for whatever reason, you are full after eating maybe half of it, that whole you got to finish everything, it can then lead to this overeating down the track and ignoring the cues that your body is saying to you when it's saying, that's enough, I've had enough. even eating fast. All right. These are things that I've grown up with as well. I used to eat really fast. And so my brain and my stomach wouldn't get the cue that, you're actually full, don't eat anymore, because I was going too fast putting the food into my mouth. And the whole finish everything on your plate, that's something I still do today. I cannot leave anything on my plate. So these are the sorts of things I want you to recognize. And if that happens to be you, so what I do now, I consciously make myself slow down when I'm eating to enjoy it, and give myself a good 20 minutes after I finished eating before I go and get something else, because I think I'm still hungry. I'm not. My brain and my stomach need to sort of catch up and go, right, you're okay. I've started giving myself, not started, I've been doing this for a little while, I would give myself smaller portions, so that narrative of, Helen, you've got to finish everything on your plate, I can still do that without overeating because I have smaller portions, okay? Another one that is really prolific is that whole no pain, no gain. Now, this is what we get, it can be associated with a lot of things. When it comes to your health, though, and your wellness, this is where that all or nothing mindset comes in. And this is where we make it harder for ourselves because, we may not have been doing any exercise for a long time, right? And then it's like, right, come Monday, I'm going to start going to the gym, for example. So we go to the gym, and because we're really excited when we make these decisions and these declarations, we go to the gym, but we go so hard and so fast that you then can't walk for the next 2 days. All right. So then it's like, oh my God, I can't go to the gym. I don't want to because it hurts. And I don't want to keep doing that because it hurts. So we unintentionally put a block in what we think is what we're supposed to be doing, because nobody really likes to, well, okay, I shouldn't say nobody. There are some people who really thrive on that they really want to push themselves and they thrive on that. If that's you, fantastic, keep doing it. This is the thing with beliefs. If they're working for you and if they make you feel good, keep doing what you're doing. If they don't, that's where you have the power to change it, okay? So I know for me, it took a little while to find, what is the thing that I like to do, because I do feel better when I move. I am not going to run. I'll tell you that right now. If I'm running, something very big is chasing me. All right. So I don't want to run. I don't see any joy in doing that. Other people love it. So for me, I love yoga. There's that nice balance because there's so many different yoga classes that you can do, from the really, really restorative ones where it appears that you're not doing anything, you're actually doing a lot, to the ones that are very, they call it like a power yoga. That's probably not the right word for it, but you can really, really work hard and get a good sweat up, and there's everything in between. So depending on how I feel on the day, that's the class that I will go to. All right. And that works for me because I'm moving my body. I know I'm strengthening it. I know I'm getting better because I can see I can do all these different poses that I never used to be able to do a few years ago. So that works for me in that I like it, I feel good, and therefore it's easier to keep going. So if you've got that whole no pain, no gain sort of mindset and it's making it harder for you to stick to something, then that's one that you can reframe. And I'm going to talk about reframing it in a minute. Right now, I want you guys to really think about, what are those comments? What are those phrases? What are those sentences? All right, that keep popping into your head whenever you go to do something that is making things harder for you. And the one I mentioned before, you have to be thin to be healthy. So that is, society does this. The magazines do this, all the beautiful people are tall and thin. All right. Doesn't mean that they're healthy. So that belief in itself is it's putting the focus on the external rather than what's actually going on internally. Okay. Because you can be very healthy and be a heavier person. Okay. Because we all have different body makeup. makeups. We're different heights, so it's not about what it looks like, it's more about what it feels like to you. Can you move in your body? Do you feel good in your body? Do you have lots of energy? Do you have that nice focus and clarity? Do you sleep well? Okay, these are the things that you want to be measuring when it comes to your health and your well-being. And even things like, well, dieting is just a part of life. And when we think about, okay, well, I need to get healthy, that word comes into it. And then that in itself has all of these negative associations with it. Dieting is like depriving yourself and it's hard. And, you're only allowed to eat lettuce and all of this sort of stuff. So even if that particular word doesn't, it brings up all this resistance, then don't use that word, because it should just be healthy eating. That's it. Healthy eating. It's not a diet. It shouldn't be something that you do and then you don't do. Healthy eating is something you want to aim for the majority of your week, okay, or even your day. And this is where it comes down to, you don't have to be so strict that you then feel like you're depriving yourself, because then that brings up a whole lot of other stuff of, don't tell me what to do. And the more you think about something that you want because you can't have it, the more you want it. So that in itself is where you can reframe a lot of the narrative that's going on in your head, okay? You want to start making a positive association with health and well-being. And the last one I want to just bring into your awareness. So, we've got all of these things that come from our friends, our family, from school, from colleagues, from society. All of that stuff forms our beliefs and how we see ourselves and how we see health and well-being. And it's also, which I've been talking about all this week, is the fairy tales that we're read. Okay. We can look at things and we can read these stories and not really put any weight to it. However, when you're young and impressionable, you don't know how these things are going to be interpreted. And everything is interpreted in different ways. And there's a whole gamut of reasons why. But if we look at the fairy tales, and there's always the evil stepmother in a lot of them. And in a lot of them, she is very vain and she's obsessed with beauty. You know the one I'm talking about. So then that in itself, we have inadvertently associated caring for ourselves and looking after our appearance and caring what we look like. We've associated that to being something bad, something evil, because she's not a very nice woman. Okay. So there's that negative attachment association to it. And these things, they don't make sense. All right. They don't have to make sense. What I want you guys to take from this is to really sort of step back and think, okay, well, what are my beliefs around health and wellness and looking good? And, there's even, it can go to that level of, if you stand out, getting all of that attention, maybe it's attention that you don't want. So then there's this whole safety thing. It can be quite deep, okay? But this is where you can have a look at and go, all right, well, what are my beliefs around health and well-being and beauty even? All right. And you can start to question them. Do these beliefs make my life better or not? And if they don't, this is where you can start turning things around, because our beliefs influence everything that we do. And when it comes to health, it influences how we eat, the choices of foods that we have, how we feel when we're eating food. I did a live a little while ago, actually, talking about the guy who did all the experiments on water and how, putting that positive vibes around water changes the way the water sort of, it makes all these beautiful patterns. And when they had the negative emotions and that lower vibration stuff, it made it really ugly patterns, actually. So, this is what science is sort of showing. And if we are 60% on average, some organs have more water than others, but if we are on average 60% water, then how we actually feel about the food that we're eating has an impact on our body and our cells as well. Okay. So so our beliefs affect how we eat, what we eat, whether we are always trying to start fresh on Monday, whether we have that all or nothing sort of mentality, what we do for exercise, if we move, oh, it's too hard and I'll just feel sore, so I may as well just stay sitting on the couch. There are so many different things that you can do for exercise, and exercise doesn't have to be going to the gym or running or, playing sport or anything like that. It can be dancing. There's so many different things you can do, and chair yoga is all the rage at the moment. It's fantastic. You're actually doing more than you think. And that's another misconception with the whole no pain, no gain. If you feel like, if you're not hurting, then you haven't done anything, which is not true either. So there's a lot of things that you want to start to question, because you're old enough now to question these things. You're old enough now to say, well, hang on a minute, that doesn't feel right for me. Okay. And that's all that matters, is how it feels for you, nobody else. This is why we have so much choice. We're lucky to have so much choice. Okay. Also, look at how you see yourself and your body, your own self-criticism. What are you saying to yourself? Because if you don't love yourself, then you are not going to care for your body. Okay. When we change that perception of ourselves, when we have appreciation for our body, when we love it no matter what it looks like or what it feels like or what it's doing, that unconditional love, then you will do things naturally to look after it. Okay. Think about if there was, if you had a person that you really, really care for and a person who you don't really care for, all right, who are you going to treat kindly? Who are you going to go out of your way to do nice things for? All right. It's the same sort of concept when it comes to yourself. So look at what you're saying to yourself about yourself as well. And then when you have identified these things, and look, just start with one. All right. Don't go all in. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. This is one of those gradual things that you can do. Start with one and then start to reframe it. Okay. If it happens to be exercise is hard, then you can, every time that sort of comes into your head, you can say something, well, every time I move my body, I'm doing something good for it. Okay. Or exercise can feel good and energizing. Say something that makes you feel good about the words. All you're doing is flipping it around a little bit to make it plausible so that you're seeing it. Instead of looking at it like that, you're looking at it in a whole different perspective. It will make you feel better, and the words need to make you feel better. Okay. So even if it's something like every small healthy food choice is a win. All right. You don't have to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. If you can eat healthy for 80% of the time, fantastic. If you can eat healthy for 51% of the time, fantastic. Make those little changes, move towards where you want to go. And the more you can make them smaller, sustainable steps, the easier it's going to be, and you will get there. Okay. This whole all or nothing comes in as well. We want these instant results. Well, then that's not really going to work either. You don't want to lose a huge amount of weight really quickly, because you're going to have all this loose, baggy skin everywhere, and it's not going to be sustainable. All right. Sometimes when we go too hard and too fast, our body goes into some sort of like a detox shock as well and makes us feel worse. So slow and steady is a good thing. Look at the tortoise and the hare. Okay. So, what I want you guys to do is just look at one thing that you can change. All right. One thing you can do today, whether it is slowing down when you eat, chewing your food a little bit more mindfully, listening to your body, being okay with, not finishing everything on your plate. Maybe it's start having smaller servings. Another little thing that actually is quite good is after you've eaten, have a drink of water. It'll tell your body you're full as well. Okay. So maybe you can try a different type of exercise. If you haven't found the exercise that you like, that you enjoy, that you wake up or you look forward to doing, then go and try something else. There's lots of different things that you can do. Okay. And even if it's picking up on those, those nasty talk that we sometimes have to ourselves and then flipping it around or stopping it. All right. Find one thing. That's all you have to do. Just one thing. If you want to do more, go for it. But find one thing that you can shift today that's going to move you towards what it is that you want with your own health and well-being. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave you with a quote. I don't know who said this, but the quote is, your beliefs don't make you a better person. Your actions do. Okay. So go out there and find an action that you can do to change your beliefs, to change your life, to make yourself feel better in your body. All right. Good luck. Let me know if you've got anything that you want to share with anyone, because, what you do might inspire somebody else to do that as well. Because, sometimes we like to have a little bit of brainstorming, a little bit of spitballing to get those ideas flowing. So you're welcome to drop them in the comments, and yeah, let me know how you guys go. Have an amazing day and an amazing weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.